Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. What we have here is a Suzuki LT 160. It seems that they made these from 1990 through 2005. So 15 years, there's a lot of these floating around. So here it is. It appears to be mechanically complete except for the nose cone, which costs about $100 on eBay, and this cover here. A couple of bolts are missing for the shifters and so forth. Anyway, so from that point of view, things are cool. Headlight needs some love, quite obviously. 3 out of the 4 tires hold air. This one tends to go flat. And it was strange. The manufacturers on the tires match. If you could read that upside down, it says Golden Boy, which I thought was odd. I'm like, wow, they sound like knockoff tires. Turns out this rig was made in Korea. So I guess that makes sense, right? They probably sourced the tires out of Korea. Now for the backstory. A friend of mine got this from the original owner. It was his childhood all-terrain vehicle, so to speak. Birthday present, Christmas present, something like that. And somewhere along the lines, it lost spark. So, we're told. And if you go through it, it does look like the wiring's messed around with. And I'm told that he took out the CDI, looked into replacing it, and misplaced the CDI. The person I got it from, the second owner, so to speak, though he only owned it a very short time, he indicated he looked up the replacement CDI for this, and it was a lot of money. I think he said like $150. You can see somebody did work on it. You could see the aftermarket air filter on the carburetor. And there is a spare carburetor here. So somebody's been in here. Just curious. I'm always curious to what comes with it. Looks like they got most of the tool. The screwdriver's missing, or is that here? Well, the top part of the screwdriver's here. So anyway, it looks like it more or less came with almost all the tool kit, which is cool. Not the pouch, but who cares? And now it's just a matter of figuring out what is true about this thing. Assume we know nothing. So OCD, right? Check the oil, check the compression, check for spark. Given this thing is nowhere near having spark, I think I'm going to portable CDI it, right? No use messing with it. I also don't see the key switch. Oh, here it is. So I'm not, normally when they have the blue here, that plastic, that means this is a replacement. So let's see what we got going on here. So to check the oil on this thing, OCD, remember, you check in this glass here and it appears to be full. Next thing up is a compression test. That's off. And just got to smash that on there. The second lead's on the frame. And there's the cage. That's a dry compression check. It came in at 60. I'm going to follow up with a wet compression check just to see how she's doing. To do a wet compression test, I put about 20 cc's of that 30 weight motor oil into the spark plug. I'm going to now turn it real slow. You see, the reason why you want to go slow, because it will squirt out. Yeah, I just kind of want to get it around a little bit. And back to the compression test. I gotta bolt that back on. Here we go. Nice wet compression test. Wow, I'm kind of surprised we didn't even get 90 out of it. That's a little surprising. I figured it would go up more than that. We'll see if it starts. If it doesn't, it might be the valves are a little loose. The good thing about doing a wet compression test, you do get some oil into the piston, into the rings. That kind of keeps things from scraping that you would have if you did a dry start. So that's one good thing out of it. Also, once these things get started and run for a couple of minutes, a lot of times the valves loosen up. The valves loosen up, clean up, the rings loosen up, and seal a little better, so to speak. So let's see how she does. I got to go get the portable CDI. I got to figure out what wires to hook to, and we'll see if we can't get this thing sparked up. I'm going to start it on the gas that's in it. Doesn't smell great, doesn't smell horrible. Maybe I'll put some starting fluid to it. See if we can't get it to start, and from there, do something with the carburetor. I think the carburetor was changed, but another one of these was put on there. I don't care for these. Looks like they changed the intake also for some reason. So I'm gonna have to pull the old one off and see what's there. But let's hit it with starting fluid, see if she'll at least fire a couple of times. Okay, here we have the portable CDI box. Turn it on, 12.1 volts. The leads, where do they go? Right, blue goes to the hot side of the CDI, green goes to ground. Nice of them to label, plus they put them both on the same connector. So we have that. Ground to the body, and the spark plug wire goes to the plug. And I already turned it on, so if I just... How's that for spark? I've been very happy with this CDI box. Nice long leads on it. I know that the battery's charged because I could see the power. And honestly, the CDI unit that happened to go in here, they're always a little different depending where they come from when you buy them, all that other kind of stuff. But this 12 volt CDI little circuit, so to speak, happens to have a perfect advance. It doesn't kick back. It's really nice. I couldn't be happier with this box. We got our starting fluid. Let's give it a nice... Okay. Let's see what it does. Am I on? Got to make sure we turn on the power, eh? Wow. Sounds like it wants to run. Here, let me do something with the carburetor, because it sounds like a runner, and see if we can't make this thing run. So I took it apart, or literally it fell apart. It appears as if you hit the throttle, right, we got no continuity. They also didn't hook up the choke, right? You really can't leave that wide open. Creates a vacuum leak. So I think we're going to do a carburetor swap. So I want to convert from one of these flange guys to a nice PZ27. I love the PZ27. And as I checked the flange size, it's about the same size as this coupler here. And if you could use some used junk, you should always. So I'm going to cut this loose, solder it up to this plate, and that'll be my PZ27 converter. Honda carburetors, not so good. I was tightening the flange and it snapped off in my hand. I have another one. Hopefully it doesn't break. As you can see, the carburetor's on there. The old gas tank is leaking some really nasty smelling fuel. I got it turned off, but I got to drain that. The portable CDI box is hooked up as it should be, including the spark plug. So theoretically, it's just a matter of turning the key or powering everything up, and it should be running. I had to replace the throttle cable. The old one was rusted out. The exterior is good, but the throttle cable itself is shot. So I replaced the throttle cable, put a PZ27 on it, put a PZ27 adapter, intravenous gas tank. It's all there, and hopefully she runs. Let me get the tripod. Alright, I think you can see everything you need to see. This is the muffler, so look for smoke. This is the cold start, right? Hand on the manifold, power on, choke is on. I know I left the choke on, I always close the choke. And just a matter of turning it over. Hang on. Gotta love it. I have the 12 volts, the 3-phase AC from the motor. I have that disconnected. Yeah, she probably ran out of gas. We would take this thing out for a ride, but I gotta spend a few minutes taking a look at the linkages there. They got everything all kind of messed up. So I got to do that, and this thing's also dripping gas, and I want to kind of correct that before we get it out. So I think I'm going to wrap the video up here. I don't know. What do you guys think? My buddy paid $200 for this and had to go drive around a bit for it and so forth. I gave him $300 to pay him for his time and trouble, so he made $100 on it, but I think it's well worth $300 bucks. We'll get it out for a ride. I also did some poking around with my meter while I was here, and these two wires, obviously the blue and the green, they go to the pulse generator. This red wire goes to the stator, right? And it's an open circuit. I checked it against this other wire, whatever it is. So he thought that, you know, the guy told him that it needs a CDI, it needs, and then he finished up with, it might need a stator. So I have the feeling from what I saw on the end of the wires that it in fact needs a stator. So what we're going to do with this thing next time we have it, I'm going to finish it up, get it ready for a ride, and then we're going to bypass the dead stator, right? We'll put a DC ignition system in this thing and have it run on that, and that saves a lot of trouble. You don't have to tear the whole engine apart to fix it. You get your machine running again. And quite honestly, I've had really, really good luck with the DC stators. so you're not out looking for parts that you can't find. Anyway, I really, really want to thank you guys for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Remember, feet down, heads up, and get out and make sure you enjoy each and every day. You don't know how many you're getting, so get out and have some fun. Bye now.